In this video, we'll start to explore using multiple very useful functions in Excel that you can use and that you should absolutely know if you want to track like your sales records or anything in Excel. So let me show you an example here. Let's look at this here. We have here our today's sales record, and in our today's sales record of our cafe, you can see so far what is being sold, and we can see the quantity, and we can see the selling price. And what we want to do is we want, based on this entire list, to calculate and get the answers of these questions here. What we will do is we will use a formula or a function to calculate this. So how can we do this? Well, first of all, let's look at the first question here. How can we calculate the total revenue? Well, in this case, we use the sum function. To do this, we type in equal, type in sum, open parentheses, and then we select here all these items here that we specify what are being sold. Let's select all of those. And once we did that, we type in enter, and we confirm, and now the total price is, or you can see the total revenue is at this moment $346.50. So next, how many products has been sold? Well, luckily we have the quantity here, so we can use that quickly by using the sum function. But I will show you another way. If you don't have the quantity, we can track it through other items, for example, the sales ID. So let's look this one first. Let's get the sum, open, and select these here. We will select this entire list and confirm. Alright, so in total we have 103 items being sold. So if, for example, you don't have the quantity and you know by default they always record one item per list or per row, what you can do is the following. You can use count function. You count it. What happens is you just count the cell with the ID. And the reason why ID, because count works only with a number function or number cell. So any cell with number works. If it's a text, for example, like this, coffee, it cannot recognize it. So let's select them. Let me just remove this and reselect this and go down all to the bottom. And you will see now, once we confirm enter, we have exactly the same value as here. Alright, and now we have the average. And the average can be basically calculated based on the two here above. So basically you could say total revenue divided by total products sold. Enter. And this would be the average. And of course there's another way to do it. So we use the average function, and this one will only work. Let's open up first this. Let me explain something here. This will only work if you know that every row is containing only one item. If there would be two items in the quantity and the price will not match here, like for example, you still see 2.5 as per product will cost, then it will not work because you have to work with a weighted average. But in our case now, we can just use the average. You select all of these, enter. And you can see the exact same value. Next, what we want to know now is how many coffee did we sold for today? Is coffee a bestseller, or how many are we selling so far? What we can use here, we can use the sum, the count if function. So what will happen is following. It will count a value only if it matches the criteria, and in our case the criteria will be coffee. So what is the range? Well, in this case this is the range here, all these products so far. And then once we got that, let's click on this. You can see here the range. What is the criteria? Well, the criteria is coffee. So I'm just going to select this one here and then enter. You can see in total we have sold 17 cups of coffee for today. So now is the question, what is the total revenue of coffee? You might say, well, if we know that's $2.50 per coffee, you can multiply 17 multiplied by 2.5, enter, that's it. However, let's do this in a formula. So how can we do it in a formula as well? Well, very simple. What we have to do here is the sum if function. And the sum if function basically does the following. It will sum or add the values only if it meets a criteria, which is if it meets the criteria of coffee. So let's start with the first one, the range. What is the range? Well, this is the range. You select this range here. And you can also select this, it does not matter. Both options are fine. Comma, what is the criteria? Coffee is the criteria. And comma, what is the sum range? In this case, the sum range is the price. Let's select this here. And once we did that, enter. And there you are. Now we get all the values with the use of just only a formula. And this will save you a lot of time, and you can automate this eventually. Because this, if ever there would be any new items here, it will start to calculate automatically if you selected the list longer. So for example, instead of 105, you could do here maybe 200. And nothing would change, but if we would put in here a value of, let's say, $2,000 for new items, what happened is the formula here, or at least the value here, starts to change as well. So if you like these kind of videos, subscribe to my channel. And if you have questions regarding to this, or if you're struggling with something in Excel, put them below in the comments, and I'll make sure I'll get back to you.